Hey there, this is Teacher Ola Podcast, episode 132, Intense or Intensive. My name's Ola and I'm an English teacher. My goal is to help you start speaking English with confidence and get rid of speaking barriers. I believe it's achievable for you and it's time you started speaking English fearlessly. Go to my website for full transcripts and worksheets to each episode. Happy learning! Hello there! Thank you for stopping by, for pressing play. You're in the right place. You'll practice speaking and learn the difference between intense and intensive. Before we jump in, if you think this episode's valuable and worth sharing, please share. Think for a second about that one person, that one friend or colleague or a family member who needs to boost their speaking skills and let them know about Teacher Ola Podcast. They will thank you. After listening to the whole episode, don't forget to download the worksheet. It's waiting for you at teacherola.com/32. If you have little time and prefer to go all in, buy the Worksheet Set. It includes the Speaking English Planner, a great tool for monitoring your progress in speaking English. Firstly, I'm gonna tell you about the word intense. You'll hear some collocations and other example sentences, and then we'll do the same thing with the word intensive. At the end of this show, you'll repeat the sentences out loud. Let's jump in. The difference between intensive and intense is subtle, yet important. We should be certain we can tell this difference. Let's take a closer look at the word intense. Intense, according to Oxford English Dictionary, means very great, very strong, extreme. Now, let's hear some examples of most common collocations. Intense heat, intense interest, intense pressure, intense scrutiny, intense anger, intense pleasure, intense cold, intense pain, intense anxiety, intense excitement, intense love, intense competition. Now, you'll hear some sentences. Later, you'll have time to listen to them again and repeat out loud. For now, just sit back, relax, and listen. I feel intense pain in my legs. We were hiking in intense heat. I hate being put under such intense pressure. Relationships often come under intense scrutiny. The intense blue flowers with a touch of pink are delightfully aromatic. With the high concentration of businesses has come intense competition. They have the capacity to ignite intense interest and passion. Okay, what about intensive? Let's see the definition. Intensive, again, I took it from the Oxford English Dictionary, means involving a lot of work or activity done in a short time. Now, please hear some common collocations with the word intensive. Intensive language course, intensive farming, intensive agriculture, intensive training, intensive negotiations, intensive care, intensive work, intensive use, intensive research, intensive industries, intensive development. Now, see some sentences. After 12 years of intensive work, he becomes a market leader developer. Intensive agriculture produces huge quantities of harm chemicals. They teach you English in an intensive course lasting just a week. The village has maintained substantial integrity despite increasingly intensive development. They were being transported to intensive care. Our research group has made an intensive study on the species. He acquired greater proficiency after a 3-month intensive course. Now, let me tell you one more thing. Unfortunately, sometimes it's more confusing. It's because intense has another meaning. That is, needing great effort and energy, serious and often involving a lot of action in a short period of time. What? So that sounds a lot like the definition of the word intensive. Why? Well, there is a difference. Intense comes from within. Intensive comes from the outside world. Stay with me, I'll explain it. Intense is associated with feelings. For instance, the Spanish course was really intense. I found it really hard. It's subjective. For me, it was intense, but for my friend, it was nothing, a cakewalk. Intensive refers to things which are more objective. That workout was intensive. It involved a lot of work. It was designed to be intensive. It's not just me, it's not my opinion. It was objectively intensive. It's time you spoke some English. Listen and repeat the sentences out loud. Trust me, it works. Give it a go, even if you feel foolish doing it, doesn't matter. Repeat out loud. Let us begin. I felt intense pain in my legs. I felt intense pain in my legs. He acquired greater proficiency after a 3-month intensive course. He acquired greater proficiency after a 3-month intensive course. We were hiking in intense heat. We were hiking in intense heat. They were being transported to intensive care. They were being transported to intensive care. I hate being put under such intense pressure. I hate being put under such intense pressure. They teach you English in an intensive course lasting just a week. They teach you English in an intensive course lasting just a week. With the high concentration of business has come intense competition. With the high concentration of businesses has come intense competition. Intensive agriculture produces huge quantities of farm chemicals. Intensive agriculture produces huge quantities of farm chemicals. They have the capacity to ignite intense interest and passion. They have the capacity to ignite intense interest and passion. After 12 years of intensive work, he becomes a market leader developer. After 12 years of intensive work, he becomes a market leader developer. So good! Glad you've made it. don't forget to go to your inbox and grab worksheet 132 in order to test yourself. Complete the worksheet with translations. If you're not a member of Top People, download the worksheet at teacherola.com/132 and become one. It's free. I also have the Worksheet Set. This way you won't have to download each worksheet separately, so it's gonna be much more convenient to work with this podcast. All the links are in the description below. If you enjoyed it, please share this episode with one person or share it somewhere on your social media. It'll help me grow and spread the message. No matter how big your language blockade is, you can and will overcome it and speak fluently. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next Wednesday. We're going to talk about learning English with TV series. Till then, take care, happy learning, stay fearless, and say it out loud. Bye!